The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Wow. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grip. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. It's a bad bitch on the elevator, I'ma let her in. Let your hater be a motivator, I can't let you win. Evil genius, human calculator, stack it by the 10. Put the Lambo on the elevator, bring it to the den. Put the Mustang by the balcony, I'm fly like Peter Pan. I'm so glad they turned their back on me, cause we weren't really friends. And it ain't even 10, and I woke up on a 10. And I don't need no pen, now I don't need no pad. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grips. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. Gotta keep them snipers with me, dawg. I got more enemies than 50, dawg. He popped a burger, said he nodding off. On high alert, they just might pop it off. 11 o'clock, she popped the nutter off. That bitch so bougie, yeah, she bad enough. That bitch so thick, you know she lit enough. It's Gucci, man, you know it's bricks involved. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grips. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball slate, NBA and NHL plays, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
But Rodgers is a fucking fossil. This team's in shambles. The Steelers are a wagon at home. It's going to be a gross fucking game. And I'm going right back to fading the Jets.
And once again, the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, when the lights are bright, do not show up and they fold. Their receivers are banged up. The ones out there couldn't catch shit. Their defense is taking a step back. This 49ers team is a fucking joke, and I'm looking at you, Kyle Shanahan. You're supposed to be that guy.
In the postseason for the first time in his career, and they find a way to fucking blow it. Look, we should have known the Yankees bullpen was going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They've been a little bit too good, but my goodness, did we think it was going to be a big Christmas?
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 584 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, what are you doing? Start tracking your bets over there today. I promise you won't regret it. You'll keep using that puppy. Check out Bookit Sports. Download it. Could not be easier to use, and start tracking your bets. Jovan, we are back. Happy Tuesday. How we doing? And go to muted.
So out.
Sure.
Every time.
Sure. How we doing, chat? What's going on? Can we get some W's going? What's up, Pax Picks? Ooh. How we doing, chat? You guys sign up for Team Trent yet? You guys get involved yet? Most importantly, you guys sign up for Team Trent. If you haven't yet, we'll drop the link right now. Get involved. Okay, cannot be easier to sign up. I know you guys are going to sign up for Team Trent anyways. Sign up now. Okay, we'll drop the link one more time. Get involved. Okay, don't just sit there on the sidelines while we're counting our guap. Winning the PBWC. Okay, get involved. Join Team Trent. Do it now before you forget. Let's go ahead and hop in, do some recaps here. Let's take a look at the Friday squad ride. Ooh. Gosh, I take partial blame on this one. I wasn't even on the show. Sent the text after my golf round. I said, hey, Kansas looks good. They're up like 20 at halftime. That was cake.
What are we doing, Krabs? What are we doing, dude?
That was cake.
That, though. Second half collapse of the year.
Yeah, they were up big. They look good. Kansas laying that fat number.
Yeah.
I liked it. I tailed. Gosh, man. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Hope you guys tailed the Dolphins last night. Got some of those coins back. Sure. Let's take a look at the Friday Sharp Report. Take a peep at how you and Rav crafted up. Jovan 3-2. W Prize Pick Squares. Rav 2-3. Not his best work. I got a feeling he'll bounce back next Friday, though, for college football. Jovan, any comments, thoughts, concerns about Friday's plays?
Shout out Rice. That was a interesting game, to say the least. They were always going to cover that game somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had my goats playing on Friday, so it was kind of fun. Obviously not with the cow under, but it was cool seeing them cover a game in a crazy way. And
Sure.
Rice was up and moving too, so that was a weird, kind of cool Friday slate.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out Rav, shout out Shelly, shout out Fruity. I believe they all cashed parlays last night as well. Do not want to let that get swept. Okay, W's gents, great fucking work yesterday. Great day for the Bookit Squad. Hope you guys tailed something. All right, if you didn't, that's on you. Get involved. Okay. Clam Mucker coming in, resubbing during TMA. Love to see it. And if you guys missed TMA with Mikey and Trent before this, you can always go back and rewatch on the YouTubes. W Mikey, WTMA. What else we have to recap here? Saturday meat cheat. Let's take a peep at that. Ooh, not good. Straight bets were good.
Yeah, it's not
Prize Pick Squares, not so much. Not so much. Why are we fading Diago Pavia, man? Fuck.
Shout out Rev.
That guy just cashes every fucking week. He's him. Now he's suing NCAA, trying to get some more money for the little guys. How can you fade that guy right now? How can you root against him? It's tough to. It really is. It's really tough to fade him.
Didn't cover his dog, though, shockingly.
That's a first.
Not shockingly. But that was finally the game that somebody got to him.
We got Josh Mitty coming in resubbing. Let's go, Josh Mitty. Dolphins air. Yes, sir. Great play last night. Great play last night. Love to see it. All right, what else we got? College football, NFL previews. Let's take a peep at those puppies. How'd you guys do? Jovan, whoa.
Sunday.
NFL, not your best work.
So fat. Sunday. Kind of kept myself afloat on Saturday, but Sunday was moose.
Rav carrying on Saturday.
Rav got nice on the
wow.
In preview and the actual get nice.
Rav was getting nice on Saturday. Look at that.
People sleep.
5-2. Sheesh. Colorado ML? Sure. They might go to the fucking playoffs. I was wrong about them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. What else we have to recap here? I believe we got the sharp report from yesterday we can pull up. Take a peep at that. I did pretty good on straight bets. Missed both Prize Pick Squares. It was always the Tyreek Hill touchdown demon that scared me. It was always the demon touchdown square. It was never his fantasy score. God damn it. And then Colby Parkinson, I just got bamboozled. He didn't even fucking play. That was crazy. They got me on Colby Parkinson. That guy's useless. I don't know what the hell the game plan was with him, but he didn't even fucking play.
Yeah, it was
unbelievable.
Weird. They had
weird.
Hunter Long in there.
They had a bunch of different guys in there. Everybody but him.
That was odd.
Everybody but him. Weird. All right. Why don't we hop in? No Steam Krabs for today. All right. I already told you guys to join Team Trent for the PBWC. Why don't we hop in and do some sharp report action? We can go ahead and get right into it for today. We got a lot to go over, guys. Doing a craft up a TNT two-piece at some point. Definitely talk NBA and NHL as well. And we have an absolutely loaded college basketball slate today, too. So why don't we hop right into it and talk about the first college basketball game of the day today. St. Joe's getting 2.5 points against Villanova. Kind of a rivalry game. Two in-state schools. As Chelly would say, these teams do not like each other. That's for sure. And it is the early standalone game of the day today. I'll tell you what, this St. Joe's team is coming off an atrocious loss to Central Connecticut State. They're only getting 2.5 points against Villanova, the blue blood, big name school. I'll tell you what, I don't think that's enough points. That looks a little sketchy to me. And I think this St. Joe's roster is much better than people think. We saw them pull off an upset in their scrimmage before the season started. I know they're coming off that bad loss to Central Connecticut State, but this St. Joe's team has some dogs, plain and simple. They've got two studs, Eric Reynolds, obviously, and Xavier Brown, who's a sophomore, the young guy, who's averaging close to 20 points a game. I know it's early, but they've got two stud guards. I just don't see this Villanova team being able to keep up with Brown and Reynolds and the Hawks at home in this game. I'll take St. Joe's. I'll take the plus 2.5. The Hawk will never die.
Hawk will never die. That game, that's going to be a good game. I don't know. I have my questions about fading Villanova in this spot, but I'll tip my cap because I'm keeping true to my goal at the beginning of the season. I will not be taking the very obvious sharp plays that all Twitter's on. And that does seem to be Villanova. So maybe you're in a good spot.
Chat saying Villanova coming off a bad loss. They did have a bad loss against Columbia. That's for sure. But they do have a win nestled in between there against NJIT. They won 91-54 in that game afterwards after that loss to Columbia. So they've already kind of got their bounce back game. I'll take St. Joe's at home. All right. What are you crafting up over there? You got some straight bets for the peeps?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Over in a TCU
Frogs.
game. Started
Okay.
off. Yeah. This
Okay.
is a weird one because Texas State is a really good defensive team, and we just saw, or I mean, I don't know how many people saw it, but I saw it at the very least. TCU kind of struggled for a bit against Florida Gulf Coast in a game that was pretty slow. I mean, not much transition play. It was a lot of half-court offense, and they didn't do well in that initially, which is why that game was as low scoring as it was. It was 67-51, and they ended up barely not covering, and obviously the game soared under. So like you see Texas State, who I think is a much better defensive team, a much slower team too, and you think there's not going to be points. I don't think that's going to be the case because this is one of the few teams that I think TCU is going to play this season where they actually have a size advantage because usually they're pretty small, and Texas State 1 through 5 is running like 6'7" or shorter, so they don't really have a true like dominant big man presence. So like Uday is going to feast. That's going to be Lob City for Frankie Collins to Uday, that connection all game, and that it's the one thing that I think TCU can use to speed them up in this game. Obviously, they're going to run out in transition and do almost whatever they want, or at least making an emphasis to do that so they don't get Texas State in the half court. But when they have easy, reliable offense in the paint, that's when they're at their best, and they're going to have that today on the other side. Like Texas State, I think, is going to have to run with them for a little bit. TCU's transition defense hasn't been great to start the year, so I think this is points in a game that, at least on paper, wouldn't look like it.
Are you worried about TCU covering that number, 15.5?
A little bit. I definitely feel a lot better about it because they just had the very similar number against FGCU that they didn't cover, and honestly, probably shouldn't have even come as close as they did. So maybe a little repeat. I do think the offense is going to be a lot better. And then again, it kind of looks like they should be on paper against a really good Texas State defense.
Okay. Totals up 139-140. Love it. Love it. Let's back some points down there in TCU. Back your squad to put some balls in the fucking hoop. Do your jobs.
Rare.
All right. Take me to the ice. What do you like about the under on the ice over there in that middle play?
Yeah. I mean, this is probably not your favorite play because it's
what's an under?
Yeah, it's an under. It's just it's one that makes, I guess, a decent amount of sense, except for I guess the one kind of contrarian angle to it. Igor is back in net tonight, it looks like, and he just gave up. I had a disaster class where he gave up 5, I believe, against the Sabres and at home and got pulled in that game. So, I mean, all of Twitter was also on the Rangers that day. So that's in the back of my mind looking at this. And I love Igor having the chance to bounce back at home. So I think he's going to have a damn good day against the Jets. The Rangers are also maybe, I don't know, a couple of people mentioned in chat that it might be a little weird they're favored in this game. I really don't think so, just because they're at home and it's Igor in the Garden against the Jets. But the Jets have just been that team. I don't really feel all that confident in fading them until they cool down a little bit. Hellebuck's been fantastic. The defense has been fantastic. This just feels like one of those games where maybe it would be the most obvious under of all time if Igor just didn't have a disaster class against one of the worst teams in the league. But, I mean, defenses are going to be out in this one. This feels like load slow to open, just a hockey game that never really gets going, and especially when you have Igor back in net in a bounce-back scenario at home. I will take that every time, but I won't fade the Jets as a part of it. I think it's like a 3-2 game.
You don't want to fade the Jets. They're red hot. I know chat's asking about it. They're saying, well, you like the under in this game. Who do you like to win? Would you lean the Rangers if you had to take a side?
Yeah,
you want
for sure.
nothing? You would. Okay. You don't want to fade this red hot Winnipeg team.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's fair. And you know what? It's still an under. I could get behind it. And you're backing Igor after a moose shit comeback performance, right? Where he gave up 5 or 6 goals in that first start back. So I could see it. I know the total's up in this game, but it looks pretty sharp to me. It's still an under on the ice. I could get involved. Okay. Wow, I like that Baylor play down there. We'll circle back to it in a second. We'll circle back. Let's swing it back to my plays. Gootsy, what am I crafting up over here? Ooh, some college football, some action. Sure. I like the action slate tonight. I do. I got 2 plays. I like Ball State. I think Buffalo's a frauds. I think Ball State runs all over Buffalo. Even when they're at home in this game, the spread has come down from like 5 to 4, 3.5, depends on where you're looking. I'll take my chances on Ball State in this spot at +4, +3.5, whatever you can get them at. I just think they're the better squad, to be honest with you. And that spread coming down, I think kind of backs me there in that argument. You've got a better team here, Buffalo, with a better record, coming off a big-time win against Akron. Akron is terrible. That win shouldn't even really count, to be honest with you. Ball State, you look at what they've been doing. They've covered their last 3 games in a row, but they've only won one of those games. But they've been competitive in these last couple of games against 3 really solid teams, Vanderbilt, Miami of Ohio, and NIU. So, a solid Power 5 school and then 2 of the better teams in the MAC. They played good ball recently. They just haven't seen it turn into wins directly. I think they get a win on the road here, to be completely honest with you. I think they shocked the world and they upset Buffalo. But I'll take the +3.5, +4 just in case here. Ball State, the prize pick squares make it seem like they're going to run all over Buffalo. Their rush defense started out well this season, but it's probably because their strength of schedule early on was super easy. You look at what they've been doing recently. They've been giving up plenty of yards on the ground. And we'll come back to it later. I think Ball State's running back runs all over Buffalo in this game, and they probably win the one outright. They probably win this game outright.
Yeah, I'm in. I think their defense is going to be locked in on Buffalo. I don't know how much they're going to score in this game, so that would be good for W game script and the RB.
Could be. And then the last play down here, Bowling Green. Last night, they were like -8. Woke up this morning, they were like -9.5. I think they win this game by 2 touchdowns. I'm not too worried about it. Western Michigan, I think they're the biggest frauds in the MAC. We saw that last week when they finally had some bad luck on their side. They lost that game to NIU, 28-42. They were up early. They blew it. We were all over NIU in that game. Great comeback. W play. I think Western Michigan's magic has run out, and I think they lose consecutive games, and it's going to be ugly in this one as well. And Bowling Green, although they haven't covered a lot recently, they've only covered 1 game in their last 5. This is the best team in the MAC. They just haven't really shown it yet. I think this spread is substantial. This is a large spread, even with Bowling Green being home here. I think it's very telling, considering this team has only covered 1 game in their last 5. I think they get a big-time win. They win by double digits, 2 touchdowns here. Bowling Green, play them, lay the spread. They win big.
Yeah, I'm in on that. It's also like I know it makes sense because of the 2 teams, but after all the dog meat action games we've had to start points wise and all the weather and everything, this is, I think, by far the highest total we've had.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, they're going to score
57.5. That's a good sign for the favorite, in my opinion. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. We got some subbies coming in. Wow. We got Prime coming in, dropping some bits. Let's go, Prime. Looks like he's on Klay Thompson tonight. He'll have at least 7 3-point field goals made, plus 824. Dude, Prime. Prime, let's cut that down to like 2.5 baseline. Okay, come on. Let's give ourselves a chance here. Ahan coming in, resubbing. Let's fucking go, Ahan. Rare BTL for the boy. When does PBWC start? It starts up. It's this Sunday. Okay, so join the team now if you haven't already. Ahan starts up this Sunday. All right, less than a week away. Stoked to craft up a lineup with the squad and get ready for PBWC. We got Billy and Goldfish coming in, resubbing as well. Let's go, Goldfish. Sure we can. Sure we can. Love it. We got my local resident sharp, Dead Larry Bird, in chat, dropping some plays he likes. St. Joe's, Michigan State, High Point, Indiana State, Illinois State, New Mexico. I like some of those plays. I do. We'll talk about those here in a moment. Okay? What do we get when Trent wins? Calves is asking in chat. Well, when Trent wins, you get a free lineup in your Prize Picks app to win $5K. Okay, so join Team Trent. When we win this puppy, knock on woods, you'll get a free lineup to win $5K. Do not miss out. Get involved now. Join. We'll drop the link one more time. Do it now before you forget. Okay, the link is in the chat. W's. All right, Pax Picks coming in, resubbing. Let's go, Pax Picks. E-Dog coming in, resubbing. We got Mama Reiki coming in, W Survivor. If you won the Survivor pool, Mama Reiki, DM me. Let me know. We'll get you settled up, okay? W Subbies. We appreciate you guys. Hype train is moving and grooving, Jovan. Sure.
Let's go.
Moving and grooving. Love to see it. All right. Yeah, I really like Bowling Green tonight. Curious to hear your thoughts on the gridiron, but we can swing it back to your plays. You got one more for the peeps.
Yeah, one more. Taking it to Baylor, who they get their slight reprieve because they opened the season with the Zags and Arkansas. Obviously, 2 big games against high-level competition. Now they get to come home against Sam Houston, which, I mean, Sam Houston's not a terrible team, but I think finally they get to settle in offensively and kind of figure out exactly who they are. And I don't think there's a better team to do that against than Sam Houston because, I mean, the first game of the season against Nevada just rim ran and hit with their big man quite a few times. You know, Sam Houston's a little undersized and cannot really defend in transition. Baylor's got guys, not only like the guys down low, whether Omier is going to be the guy or not, but you have an offense with so many guards that can get to the rim. Obviously, a lot of guys that want to run in transition. VJ Edgecombe, too, hasn't really had the chance to run in the first 2 games. And now I think he's going to have the liberty to do pretty much whatever he wants in transition. This feels like the spot where Baylor is just trying shit by the end of this game. And this is going to be a game where they simply can't defend. And they've had their struggles down low, like I was saying, and I don't even think that is the main area that Baylor is going to attack. I think it's going to be all these guards putting these guys that really have trouble on the perimeter too in absolute boxes. Like I think it's going to be not only tough for Sam Houston to score, but in transition, I think this is one of those games like Baylor always has a couple of them where they really want to get out and run in non-conference, and this seems like the one to me. Looking at their schedule before, I mean, they'll have another one against Tarleton State. I think that's not exactly the one to do it, but then they go back and they play a tougher game at St. John's. Like this feels like the game where you really want to figure out who's going to be your guys to do what, give everybody the liberty in the offense, and I think they get a beautiful matchup to do it.
Love it. Love fading Sam Houston. Are you looking to take VJ Edgecombe more than 12 points today on Prize Picks?
Yeah. I'm surprised I know it's Sam Houston, but it's going high. And a move back up.
He has not eclipsed that number yet this season. Only been a couple games though.
He's been getting the shots up though. He's been going to the paint and taking some crazy shots against some much better paint defenders. So like now, I can probably tell you today you're going to get one of those viral dunk clips from VJ, like he did it to Mark Few's son at the end of the Zags game.
Sure. Yeah, it might just be VJ Edgecombe down. If you think they're going to be running in transition, he's probably the guy to be leading that.
Yeah, if they let him do it.
Sure. I'll take that square with you, and I'll take Baylor with you. Love the play. Chat, what do you guys think? You liking Jovan's plays here? He's got 2 CBB plays. He's got a under on the ice as well. What do you guys think? You think Jovan brought some winners for the peeps? Let me know. All right, looks like Rito got subbed up from E-Dog. W-E-Dog, we appreciate you, Beast. Giving out a handout subby to Rito. He deserves it. Aogons, we'll talk about those games here in a moment. Don't you worry. We'll get to it. For now, let's go to some Prize Pick Squares. Let's talk about our favorite Prize Pick Squares so far of the day. I talked about Ball State running all over their opponent tonight, and I'm putting my beat on tape here. I guess I'm standing on business. I do think Ball State's running back has a day today. I really do. I think Braden Sloan goes off. I like how high this number is. I like what I've seen out of Buffalo's D-line in recent games, giving up hella yards, 180 yards per game on the ground of late. I think that continues once again today. And Ball State, a team that I think can pull off the upset here on the road, establishes their dominance on the ground and hands the ball off to their stud running back, Braden Sloan, and he cashes this probably in the third quarter. More than 49.5 rush yards. Come on. In a W game script, in my opinion, I think they do pull off the upset. They're trying to kill clock here late. Hand the ball off to your guy, Braden Sloan, the veteran. He's been around the block for a while. He's getting 70-plus yards. Not 50-plus, 70-plus. And then Hayden Wolf. Don't like this square as much, but these pass and touchdown fades, knock on wood, have treated me very well overall this season. I'll take another one in a game where I don't think Western Michigan's going to score much. I do like that the total is very high, but I think it's because Bowling Green carries the weight, and they put up a big number offensively. Thought about backing some of their squares, but I said, hey, you know what? I'll fade this Hayden Wolf Green passing touchdown square. I don't think Western Michigan scores much in this game at all. I'm with you, Jovan. I think that's a big part in Bowling Green covering this game with a big spread and a high total. They're putting up hell points. Not Hayden Wolf, not Western Michigan. They're frauds. I think we saw that last game against NIU. I'll fade Hayden Wolf again here and take his less than 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Commit on that.
Good. Chat, what do you guys think? Western Michigan has been running dual QBs. Yeah, also a good point as well. Who knows how long he's going to be playing in there. Good. Jovan, what are you crafting up on Prize Picks for today, my man? Let's take a peek.
Klay Thompson, 3-point attempts. I don't really think I need too complex of a sell job for that. I mean, look at the
you
chart.
and Primer collab. Sure.
Yeah, well, I don't want to take him to make him, because if anything I've learned from Klay Thompson in these big spots, I know he's been pretty good to start the year, but I'll bet on volume. If he wants to shoot tour dates, he can be my guest, but he's putting up 9, and that's all that matters. Obviously, the narrative is there against the Dubs, former team. He's going to be chucking. But, I mean, the matchup is there. I don't really need to say all that much about this. The chart is looking like it is because of what's going to happen tonight. So I'm taking that regardless of if he shoots tour dates or not. Just put him up. And then Amari Williams, a guy from Drexel. I'm glad he's finally starting to get a little bit of the shine that he deserves because he's been really good the first couple games to start for Kentucky. He's been a double-double machine early. And you're getting a lower line now because obviously there's a massive step up in competition. There's size in the bottom or in the front court for Duke, which you would think is going to be a problem. And it's definitely going to be a much, much bigger challenge. So I don't think he's going to be necessarily going for 20 and 20 like he was asking questions or probably would have if he got full minutes in either of those first 2 games. But he's a monster down low. It's also a pretty pivotal point of the offense for Mark Pope because he runs in transition. They love to feed the big man in transition, and I think he's going to be the crucial part of unlocking this game for Kentucky or just keeping it close for people who want to bet Kentucky because he's going to have to be a monster down low. He's going to have to swallow everything up on the boards on the defensive side of the ball, especially with the 2 guys down there for Duke, and he's going to have to be super aggressive on the offensive end because Duke can guard the ball really, really well on the perimeter. So I think a lot of what happens in this game has to flow through Amari Williams. I don't think his numbers in the first couple games are just because they're playing Bucknell and Wright State. I think he just is that good. We saw that last year at Drexel, and I think he's going to continue to take that step up tonight.
Love it. Love that square. I like Kentucky as well. Could even be convinced on maybe betting them as a side. We'll talk about a little bit more. Would not mind fading Duke tonight. We'll talk about those games plenty. Some of the big college basketball games here in a moment. Love the angle. Amari Williams is him. Take his more than points and rebounds. Keep it simple. And keep the assist out of it. No need.
Well, it's not even an option. If it was an option, I'd put it in there because he's a fantastic passer. But no.
All right. Amari Williams and Klay Thompson. God, that chart must be red as ma if you're taking Klay Thompson.
It's red grabs.
Yeah. I got to get some eyes on that myself here. Oh, it's at 8.5 now. Good.
Wow.
Got bumped up.
Bumpage up.
Yeah. Got bumped
insane.
up. Sure. It's red as ma. Wow. All right. Klay Thompson's chucking tonight against the Warriors. Okay. Maybe it's an easy angle or narrative, I guess you could call it, him against his former team, but come on. The chart doesn't lie.
It's no secret narrative, but
the chart does not lie.
Take him to shoot him.
Okay. All right. Chat, you guys in? You like that play? I definitely do after looking at that chart. And I could more than get down with Amari Williams as well. Great sell job. Kentucky plus 5.5.
Probably lean that way, but don't know that I love it.
Have to lean that way at least. All right. We'll see if we get to the counter there with that play. For now, W Sharp Report, W Prize Pick Squares. Would love to take a second and talk about the rest of these college football games for tonight. We do have 3 action games. So maybe we get to take a peep at some of those on Pickit Pro. W Pickit Pro, if you guys haven't used this already or checked it out on your desktop, try out the free trial. Okay, if you're betting every day, you probably should be using Pickit Pro. Check it out on your desktop or your laptop. It's worth checking out. Try the free trial. We'll take a peep at these college football games for tonight. Already talked about a couple. I've got plays in 2 of them. So maybe we go to that third game that I haven't talked about much here. Central Michigan and Toledo. You've got Toledo, who's 6-3. They're laying about 2 touchdowns here. And looks like they're getting all the bets, at least on the ML. The spread's actually pretty split. Interesting. Kind of cool to see some real coins, real money back in Central Michigan and the Chippewas here. Maybe a little fake sharp. And maybe it's Toledo laying a big number, a team that's covered 1 time in the last month. What do you think? I thought this was a giant number. And it made me want to stay off of back in Central Michigan here. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely looks like a little big of a number. So I'm not running to the counter exactly, but I don't want to bet multiple of the biggest favorites on the same slate. And I know Bowling Green has not yet crossed the 10 threshold, so it's still Toledo by a mile. But if there's any favorite I'm taking on the board, it's definitely Bowling Green. I'm with you on that. So I don't want to back Toledo. I'm not running to that.
Okay.
But if there's
Central
any game
Michigan's
I think
QB
has
still hurt. That could be why this number's so big. Okay.
Does seem like a simple fade. So I don't love it.
Okay. Total in that game is up as well. People are betting it, though. Up from 48.5 to 51.5. Okay. You like Ball State? Could I get you invested in Ball State as a dog?
Yeah. I like both the boys. I'll be on there with you.
Yep. I honestly probably like Ball State a little bit better. It sounded like you like Bowling Green, laying 9.5 a little bit better, but definitely really like both of those plays and looks on the gridiron tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
With you.
Dubs. Chat, really liking Ball State. Don't let that one get swept. Okay. Yeah, Central Michigan QB still out. Backup stinks through 17% against Bowling Green. Yeah, he might just be that bad. He might just be that bad. That might be one of those games we just don't touch. We just don't touch. All right. Looks like Picks with Deej has a max on Buffalo. No way. No way, Jake. Is that true? Picks with Deej is like the max sharp. That's scary.
It's true.
Look
I
at the
saw the tweet.
splits. Yeah, Gucci's saying it's true.
Yeah.
Look at the splits as well on Ball State on the spread. Holy smokes. I know there's only about, a little bit over 100K on this game so far. There'll be way more bets coming in, a little closer to kickoff. But, Jesus, Ball State's getting bet. That's for sure. What the?
Yeah. I mean, I guess people are all banking on the game to end within 4 because Buffalo ML is also in every lay, it looks like.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, looks like Pixadege, he went to Ball State. Well, we know what happens when people fade or take their team. We might be back. We might be back. Okay, we got lucky there. Because typically Weege doesn't miss. We might have gotten lucky there, folks, though. Okay. Dubs, let's move. Let's groove. Bowling Green, minus 9.5 as well. I'd love to take a peep at those splits really quick before we go. Mine as well. I'm assuming they're public. I really don't care. I still think Bowling Green is a great look tonight. They win this game by 2 touchdowns. We'll take a peep at these splits, guys. Curious to see what people are betting in the third MAC game for tonight. And we're in the golf. Goots is trying to get locked on the golf futures. That's cool that Pickett Pro has golf futures, though. It's fire.
Yeah.
All right. Look at these splits. People are betting Western Michigan. Interesting. That makes me happy. All right. People are taking the dog in this one, and that spread just keeps on moving towards Bowling Green. Could be a good sign there, Jovan.
All that.
Good. All right. Prime said he busted seeing Jovan on clay 3-pointers. Yep. Busted
not
everywhere
made,
on the
Prime.
wall. Okay.
Not made, Prime. All he needs to shoot him. I honestly hope he misses. I hope he goes over 10.
No, you don't hope he misses.
I hope he misses.
No,
Over
you
10,
don't.
over 10, and I laugh.
Okay. Hype train is moving and grooving, chat. Love to see it. Let's keep that hype train moving and grooving as we continue to move and groove through this slate. Why don't we take a trip to the ice and the hardwood? Want to take a peep at the hockey plays for today? Then we can go through the rest of those. Take a look, see if there's anything else looking funny to you.
Yeah.
Let's take a peep at the ice. We got Nikki Gord's coming in, dropping a subby Birds Commanders week. Let's go, Nikki Gord's. Sure we can. Sure we can. Trying to restrain my excitement for that game, considering we're coming off a loss and considering we have PBWC coming up, and that's way more important. But, guys, I'm loving the Commanders on Thursday. Loving them. Absolutely loving them. But we'll get to that. We got Mr. Shrimpy coming in, dropping a resub, 26 months of moving and grooving. Yes, sir, Mr. Shrimpy. Come on.
Sure.
W's. Love it. All right, let's go back to the ice. Jovan, you've talked about one of these games already on the ice. You want to take us through some of these other games? You like the under in Winnipeg and the Rangers. We know that. Okay. What about Ottawa and Toronto?
Yeah, that game's kind of weird because I guess there's 2 games kind of for similar-ish reasons or similar-ish lines between the Leafs game and the Panthers game where it's going to be awfully popular, awfully sharp to take the 2 dogs in that game, and I've seen it a lot already. I don't know that I want to do it. The Sens usually play the Leafs really, really well. I guess if there's one dog I'd had to lean into and be okay with, it'd probably be that one. But the way the Leafs have been defending lately, I mean, for a majority of the time, I know the goaltending is a little bit of a question. Not they've been bad just because you've had guys in and out, but as of late, that hasn't been a problem at all. I don't know that I'd really love the Sens in that game. So, I mean, I'd hate to say I lean both short favorites, but I probably do in the Leafs and the Panthers. And for whoever was asking about the big Devils line move or whatever, I guess the Sens also have that too, but the Devils because of Bob, because Bobrovsky is not playing and he was supposed to in this game, apparently. So it's going to be Spencer Knight. Every time it's sharp to fade the Panthers, when Spencer Knight's in goal, he comes out and he has a masterclass. I will sure as hell not be fading, especially when it's the ratchet Devils that are on the other side of that. So keep me far, far away from, honestly, both those games, but especially the very popular Devils ML, it looks like today.
Okay. Might be a little forced. Anything in Boston, St. Louis that you like?
Yeah, nothing I love
Is
in
that
that
some
one
respect
either.
on the Bruins? Like, should they be laying minus 160
No,
on
and
the ML,
again,
minus 170 on the ML?
no. And the Blues, granted, they just got porked by the Capitals. Anytime you got the Blues as pretty significant home favorites against a team where it seems like there's a lot of value to take the Blues, so it's the one time that everybody wants to take the coin stealers, usually does not work out. So again,
Huh.
keep me off.
Yeah, maybe just not betting Blues games. Probably the best move.
I mean, that's
Fucking stink.
100% the best move. Honestly,
Yeah.
I only want to bet Blues games when not a soul wants to bet them at all.
Mm.
And when they're playing a team that nobody's very impressed with at home, it's one of the few times that everybody likes to jump at the plus money Blues.
Okay. Just thought that was a fat number on the road. It's still the big name Bruins, but
Yeah, I mean, it
damn.
kind of is. You're not wrong.
Yeah. And they're getting some bets as well. I'm going to stay off because I hate fading the Blues. And when I do, I lose coins, but it's got to be the Bruins on the road there, laying 170. What about the Islanders and the Oilers facing off tonight, 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus? Kind of a fat ML as well for Edmonton. A little disrespectful against the Islanders here, huh?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Isles have been, I don't know, they've had a weird stretch of games. I think every game has gone pretty similarly to like where they're really good defensively for a while and then it breaks down and they give up a couple quick goals in a row. So like it's very deceiving looking at some of their games. Like if you box score watch, you're going to say they haven't really been all that good defensively when in reality they kind of have. It just breaks down very quickly. So against the Oilers, that might be a little bit of an issue because the Oilers really, without McDavid or with McDavid, the whole season when they face teams like this, they've had a good amount of trouble. So like I know they were dog shit against VGK when they played a similar style. They got shut out, I think, by the Devils last week when they did a similar thing too. I wouldn't be shocked if the Islanders come and steal one on the road. Not be shocked at all.
Okay. Yeah, keep me away from that game. Kind of thought Edmonton was a decent parlay piece, but not going to get involved, especially if you're saying the Islanders could be a good look at plus chick. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. All right, 2 more games on the ice. Calgary, Vancouver, another team laying some fat juice on the ML against a solid Calgary squad, at least with a good record, right? 225?
Yeah.
I know they're home.
Calgary off a back-to-back, though, or on a back-to-back.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, last night they won, beat the Kings as dogs. Shout out Dustin Wolf. It's great in that.
That's what it is.
So now I assume Vladar is going to be playing this game.
Gotcha.
Only time I fade the Flames is with Vladar and net. Pretty much only time I take them is going to be with Wolf and net. Canucks also just looked absolutely pitiful against the Oilers. So if there's any one favorite or one of the bigger favorites I think I'd lay today, it's probably Canucks.
Okay, maybe that's the parlay piece. Vancouver.
Yeah, I think that's your piece, not the Oilers personally.
All right. Yeah, you don't gotta say it twice. Gotcha. All right, maybe it's the Nucks. Minus 225. We'll see if I can find a second pairing for that. Interesting. Fading Calgary off a back-to-back. I mean, that shit does matter. And that makes sense why they're fat dog here in the spot. They played last night. Coming off that big win there, too. Now they put their shitty goalie in there. It's got to be Vancouver. All right, one more game, late night. How about the Blue Jackets and the Kraken? You might not have a play in this one. I know the Kraken steals coins, but again, another pretty even records for both these squads, in my opinion. Both two pretty even teams relatively. Maybe Seattle's a little bit better. They're laying 170. I know the Blue Jackets aren't great. Their record's probably a little bit better than people expected preseason, right? They're supposed to be one of the worst teams in hockey. Are we surprised by the minus 170? Is that pretty standard here for the Kraken at home? And is this a trap?
Pretty standard. The Blue Jackets have been terrible. I don't know if you remember this, but you remember the over? It wasn't the same situationally, but the over between the Kraken and Avs, one of my sticking points. The Kraken were coming off a couple of shutouts, but it was also the last game of a road trip where they'd been really, really bad, including those shutouts. The Blue Jackets, they're 0-4 on this current road trip, and that includes losses to. First of all, I mean they started off getting porked by the Caps. They lost by 5. They lost to the Sharks on the road, the Kings on the road, and the Ducks on the road. That is maybe one of the worst road trips I think in NHL history that you could come up with in your head. now this is their last chance before they go back home on Friday and play the Penguins. So I would think, just like how the Kraken came out, when granted they were off a couple of shutouts, not the exact same scenario, but the Blue Jackets really haven't been much better than that. They're going to come out pretty aggressive in this one. So like I wouldn't be surprised the Blue Jackets stole one here. I've been kind of going back and forth of whether I want to play just them straight up or take the over or maybe meet in the middle with a team total over. But something, I think this game is going to be really, really open very quickly. It's like I think there's goals in this game. I think CBJ probably opens the scoring first, and there's probably some point squares you can take in this game. I know there's a one on the Kraken side with Jordan Eberle, who made his way to the pop tab, and he's fully read out after he really hasn't had to do much of anything. But I like that. I like some stuff on the CBJ side as well. But could be, as Trent says, a good game for props.
Huh. You got Seattle, who was just playing just as bad as Columbus before they finally got that big win at home as dogs against Vegas. So they kind of stopped the bleeding there after 4 straight losses, 4 straight games. They didn't keep it even relatively close. You got the Blue Jackets coming in off of 5 straight losses, 5 straight games that were not really close or competitive at all. And a lot of those games were against not great teams. I feel like it's got to be either the over or Columbus in this game.
Yeah, my gut tells me the over, because I think, I mean, the Kraken, like they had that road trip. They were really good early against the Avs, and then it fell apart. It's like they're aggressive, and that overdid its job. They came home, got a big win against VGK. Kind of feels like the sleepy fall apart spot, because I mean they follow this game up with Blackhawks and Islanders on the weekend, so another couple sleepy games. Maybe they got to come out, and I know I see DeGen saying get right for the offense. They kind of need it, even though they put up 4 and won that game against VGK. Over is probably my play there. I think I'm going to settle on that.
Look at the bets on the under as well on Pickett. I know it's not a ton of coins, but under very popular as well.
That's
good.
Kind of weird to me.
The under 6.5 has moved from -130 to -120. Depends on where you're looking. AKA the juice is moving towards that over. Got to be a good sign. Maybe we get a great game tonight, late night, between both these squads. Lean Columbus, but probably that over. Even a better look.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. 6-4 type of game. DeGen saying in chat. What's up, DeGen? Saw your tweet yesterday. I was geeking at that. Or 2 days ago, whenever it was. Hilarious. All right. Let's move to college basketball. And then we're going to do NBA and craft up a little TNT 2-piece for you guys. All right. But first, let's get to college. I want to talk about some of these other really good games for tonight. We can scroll through Pickett Pro here. Jovan, I do like St. Joe's in this early game. I feel like I made that pretty clear, but you're not the biggest fan of St. Joe's. You're not sprinting to the counter to tail this one with me? A little bit worried?
Not sprinting, but I don't have a Villanova ticket and will not have a Villanova ticket, so I can't say much.
All right. Yeah, I like St. Joe's, man. I do. I think they're the better squad. I'll take the +2.5. I don't see Villanova slowing down their 2 stud guards. Eric Reynolds hasn't even been their best player on their team, and that kid's a stud. I'll take St. Joe's. Yeah. We'll see what's fake sharp or what's not in that game. Seen a lot of people on both sides. I mean, it's an early standalone game, so I get it, but seen a lot of tickets on both sides in that game. A lot of Villanova tickets too, man. Surprisingly. Could be good, right? What about Kansas and Michigan State, right? We took Kansas on Friday. Brutal. That's on me. I take full blame there. Is it the Spartans getting 6 points here? 5.5? 6 points on ESPN tonight. Neutral site game as well, so do not get it twisted, chat. This game is being played in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena. Is it the Spartans getting about 6 points here on the spread against number 1 ranked Kansas? What do you think?
I'll tell you, my gut tells me immediately, because I feel like this happens every Champions Classic. Usually there's an odd man out team and a team that is not quite as good as the other 3. This year, I would say it's pretty clearly, as of right now, Michigan State. That team kind of always finds their way into a close game or a cover. So I didn't want to fade Michigan State, I didn't want to fade Kansas, even though I do think it is Kansas, because they just had that massive collapse. Obviously, last game, a lot of that was because they could not guard the ball for shit. All the guards for UNC were just running right past them, and then they ended up getting into foul trouble, so nobody was down there in the paint. Shout out Hunter Dickinson. So after a while, they just kind of wore them down with that. made some big shots. Michigan State's all their guards are super young and obviously not the guards that UNC has. So I think over the full course of the game, you'll see Kansas kind of wear them down as opposed to what happened inversely in that other game against UNC. So I like Kansas. I'm not going to get to the counter with it, though, because it feels like the whole Monday Night Football doubleheader system where it's the one team that people want to bet on the least. And they always find a way.
Yep. I've also seen some Sparty tickets floating around, people taking them. But then I look at the splits, and I'm not seeing many. Not on Pickett, not on Visson. Not seeing many bets on Michigan State at all. Gun to my head in GTA, I'm leaning Sparty. I'm leaning Coach Izzo. I'm leaning Michigan State here. Probably not going to get to the counter, especially with how Kansas closed out that last game where they barely held on for dear life, and they almost blew it. They kind of already had a scare in that last game. And I've seen people, gassing up Sparty as well. It seems like kind of an easy play as a dog, but then you look at the splits and you see it all in Kansas and get kind of confused. So probably going to sit this one out. Lean Sparty. Want to bet them, but not going to force it. Too many other really good games. Another weird game, not a great game, like Kansas-Michigan State matchup, but Monmouth and NIU is a game that's looking pretty sharp. People have been hitting me up about it as well. Monmouth flipping from a dog to a fave on the road against NIU. I like Monmouth. I lean Monmouth. That's a team that just comes through and wins and covers more often than not over the last couple of years as well. So you have your coins on a team that respects coins, which is a good start already. And fade NIU is probably a good move as well. They're 1-1, but they got crushed by Georgia Southern in that last game on the road. They're nothing special. Monmouth is coming in off of giving up 103 points in their last game to Temple. And you're telling me they're moving to a favorite? That tells me it's probably Monmouth on the road here. But look at the splits. People are betting them. Maybe that's why the line's moving.
Sheesh. Not many bets. Not many bets, Krabs.
Good point. Good point. Still like Monmouth and the Hawks on the road here, flipping from a dog to a faith.
Yeah, I can get down with it.
All right. William and Mary is up to -2.5 at home against Norfolk State, who's been a wagon in their conference in recent years, Jovan, and they're still undefeated right now, 3-0. You got William and Mary, who's been, a basement dweller in their conference, nothing special recently, but they're catching some steam after a loss to Radford. Kind of weird. I like William and Mary. I like them here at home in the spot on the ML. Up to -2.5 on the spread. I lean William and Mary against undefeated Norfolk State, but fade Norfolk State over the last couple of years has not treated me well. Full transparency.
Yeah, they are kind of always super sharp to fade.
Yep.
I mean, I'll tip cap, not getting involved in that one.
Okay. I lean the Tribe. Real Nicky Gambles in chat saying first true road game for Norfolk. Yeah, that could have something to do with the weird line, but you can't tell me +2.5 for that program. I don't care if they're on the road. They're playing William and Mary. That's a little bit weird. Weird. It's got to be William and Mary. But we'll see if it plays out because typically fade Norfolk State does not work. So TBD if I'll get to the counter on that one, but I definitely lean the Tribe on the ML. Okay. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about FAU and UCF. You got any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I kind of want to take FAU. I thought
really?
It was pretty interesting that we were seeing 6.5 to 5, and UCF so far, I mean, they've been getting a lot of respect on their home court, and it started with when they were super short without their best player against Texas A&M, a ranked squad, and they ended up coming through and winning that game outright. And now you're seeing some steam towards FAU on the road. That was really interesting to me, and FAU really hasn't had a real game yet.
Definitely weird. The problem with this bet, although I would not want to be taking UCF, I lean FAU with you 100%. You still got that big name FAU school. I know Dustin May already left and stuff, but they've went on some runs in recent years. I'm not really sprinting to the books to lock in an FAU ticket this season, although they do look like the sharp side here on the road, down from +6.5 to +5. Not really in a rush to bet them after their legacy run over the last couple of seasons, right? Could be some respect still lingering around with that team on the spreads and with the money as well. I mean, I know it doesn't matter. Not a lot of bets in on this game already, but on Pickett, all the bets are on FAU. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I will say
Maybe
FAU is they have a pretty interesting team. Like, have you taken a look at their roster at all, Krabs?
I mean, yeah, they lost all their goats.
Yeah, they just put together like a super big athletic team. So like they have Baba Miller, like has come over from FSU, who's like a weird, super athletic guy, not the greatest offensive guy, but like they have Ken Evans from like Jackson State too. So like he's a scorer. He's also really big. They have like 7-foot freshmen. So like UCF is not the most proficient, I guess, scoring team. They struggle with creating offense at times, especially when they're, I don't know, a little shorthanded as of now. So I feel like FAU defensively might give them some problems.
Okay. Wow. Well, that totals up about 5 points. So maybe it's just the over in that game.
I mean, FAU can score too.
Panda saying UCF's got some players hurt or questionable. Could have something to do with it as well.
Have all season.
Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving here, gents. I don't want to get caught up too much in some of these crummy games. I want to make sure we have some time for the good ones, right? Jovan, let me know if I'm cutting, some games out that you want to talk about, but I'm going to keep scrolling down the board here and try to find a better game. Thoughts on UIC and Northwestern, little rivalry game? Any thoughts there?
I can't say I have too many thoughts
Probably not.
On that one, Krabs.
You got Northwestern coming in off a loss to Dayton, where they did not cover. They got hooked. Now they're at home. They're playing a UIC team that just beat a depleted Yale squad. They lost their best player this offseason. It's probably Northwestern laying the points, but not going to get cute there. You got Columbia laying 8.5 against Lehigh, and I believe Columbia's last game was that crazy upset. Oh, no, they do have another game squeaked in there. They've beaten Loyola, Maryland, the Greyhounds, W. They've beaten Villanova. They've beaten Delaware State. Okay, Lehigh's coming in off of 2 losses. They're 0-2 this season. And Lehigh is only plus 8.5 in this spot against 3-0 Columbia. I would lean Lehigh, but probably not going to bet it. Really nasty play. Siena American. Is Siena legit? I've been waiting for the Siena team to show me something over the last couple of years. They've got NIL money. They typically have a pretty solid basketball program. The guys they bought, the guys they brought in the last couple of years have not done shit. But this season looks a little bit different. Is Siena a threat? Are the Saints a live dog here against American at home? I know American fading them is a death wish, Jovan. We learned that over the last couple seasons, but their team is not good. They've taken a little bit of a step back. They're coming in off an outright win against Harvard, another team that's taken a step back this season. So I don't see, that's not that great of a win as it looks like on paper as +2 dogs. Siena's done job this season as well. They just beat Bryan on the road. Impressive. Before that, they beat Brown outright. Could this Siena team just be different this season? I kind of want to back the Saints.
They might. I think I'm going to wait a little longer than the first week and a half before I jump in on fading American, though.
Yeah, it's fair. They steal coins. Towson, South Carolina.
Thieves.
Yeah, they're thieves. I'm down to wait that one out. We'll see how legit Siena really is and see if American just pulls off another miracle. Couple other nasty games here. Towson, South Carolina. How about Towson opening up +7 in this spot on the road to South Carolina? Anybody else think that was weird? Or is it just me? I know Towson's got a solid program. They have a very good coach, a better coach than that program should have. And Towson plays some good defense, although they didn't in the last game against St. Mary's. That game fucking soared over when I had the under. But they've had a ton of time in between that game and this one. Maybe that has something to do with it, Jovan, the shorter spread. Towson's had a week to prep for this game. South Carolina's coming in off a big win against South Carolina State. But, they better beat them by 22. South Carolina State. Give me a break. Before that, though, they lost to North Florida. The South Carolina team is not great. I've been fading them over the last couple of years after that Final Four run, and it's treated me pretty well. Although they are catching a little bit of steam here, I still like Towson on the road to keep this one within 8.5 points. What are your thoughts on the Tigers against the Gamecocks, a team that's had some trouble against these smaller schools in recent years? I went to a George Washington game a couple of years ago. They lost outright. South Carolina did. Crazy.
Yeah, they're, I don't know, they've kind of evolved into a little different of a team, I would say. Much better defensively. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if the spread looks all that weird to me, judging off the fact that South Carolina last time they were at home in a somewhat similar spot, because I'm not counting South Carolina State when they're much bigger favorites, but they lost outright to UNF in that game.
Yep.
If I'm looking at this game, I don't know who's guarding anybody on the inside. If you're Towson going up against any of the South Carolina bigs, they're way too much. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but super athletic, super strong. I don't know if they have anybody, and that was their problem in the St. Mary's game. So, don't know if I see the same thing happening.
Okay. Yeah. Keep an eye on this Towson Tigers team, though. They're gritty. They've been hanging around in some of these games. I got a handful of other games I want to get to before we get to the NBA. Tempo and pace. We got Craig Boogie coming in, resubbing as well. Let's go, Craig. Sure we can. Yay, lads is saying Towson's a lax school, staying off. You're not wrong. Jovan, let me throw a couple more games at you here before we get to the NBA. How about North Florida at Georgia? Any thoughts on this game? Georgia catching some steam against a really good North Florida team that's starting to get some votes in the AP poll. They did at least the other day. They're undefeated. They pulled off some upsets this year, but they're up from plus 10.5 to plus 14.5. Weird. Huh.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
One that also looks to be in the running for maybe a JV.
Fake shot POD.
Yep. Yeah, it's also very popular today, and I love it. I want to get involved because, I feel about Georgia. I think they're over the course of like maybe the back half of their non-conference, or I guess they probably got to start picking up now before they play Marquette and St. John. But I think they're good. I think they're going to evolve into a much better team. North Florida's been on their legacy run to start the year with a couple really good performances. Like now, if they're getting steam, Georgia is. It looks a little odd. Sure, the matchups there too with the guards that Georgia has. So, I mean, I like Georgia. Not going to get involved. Staying true to my rule, but it definitely is a little weird.
Yeah, I lean Georgia. I might end up getting on them, but I just want to fade North Florida after some of these crazy wins. They've already beaten South Carolina. They've already beaten Georgia Tech. I kind of want to back Georgia, who spanked them last year when these guys played. I think they spank them again. Georgia, not notoriously a great college basketball program, right? Not good, unless they have Anthony Edwards coming back. Who the heck wants to bet them laying 14.5 against a red-hot North Florida? Probably nobody. I'll do it. I'll bet them. Give me the Bulldogs, right? Especially with how bad that football program's been right now. They need a spark. Maybe the basketball team picks it up. Give me Georgia.
Sure.
All right. Any more late-night Geysermans? You talked about TCU. You like the over in that game. You talked about Baylor laying 16. You like them against Sam Houston. I'm going to auto-tail that one anyways. If you're fading Sam Houston, come on. Has to be done. Any other late-night plays or games that you got on your mind, Jovan, before we move and groove? I guess Kentucky Duke is a big one, late night.
Yeah.
I want to bet Kentucky.
There? Kentucky.
I want to bet Kentucky, man. I want to fade Cooper Flagg. Look, he's been impressive so far. Don't get me wrong. But I like Pope's squads at Kentucky. I think they've been impressive so far. You get Calipari out there getting fat, happy, and complacent. You get some new blood in there, former alumni. I think Kentucky's rolling right now, and I like the squad they have. Down from +7 to +5.5 against Duke. I know Duke's not home in this game. I believe it's a neutral site. Yep, in Georgia as well for this one. I like Kentucky to keep this one within 5.5 points. It looks sharp. Chat saying they like the under. Yeah, I don't mind the under in a big game. Either one of these two games on ESPN tonight, I like the under in. But give me Kentucky on the spreads. I like what I'm seeing out of Pope's boys, and I want to fade this young Duke team who's going to have their hands full in their biggest battle of the season yet.
Yeah, I'm in on that. Obviously, I think the key to the game is going to be in the paint because you would think not only with how fast these two teams play, especially Kentucky, but just the general feel of the game, you kind of think it's going to be a game played in transition. I don't really think that's the case. I guess that leans to the under and definitely leans Kentucky's way. But Amari Williams is going to be the GOAT.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
Do your job, Amari Williams.
Yeah.
Hey, Queens plays tonight, by the way. Hate to interrupt, but this is important.
Wow.
Queens plays tonight. Our beloved Queens.
The
We missed our window, I think, backing them, though. They just won outright against Western Carolina. Pulled off that upset in that last game. They're playing Utah on the road tonight. They're getting 22.5 points. I don't want to bet them at that number. That's a fat number. If it was in the teens, I'd be interested. But that kind of shows me that might be a tough game for Queens going across the country. Playing Utah on the spot, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not backing Queens. I think we missed our spot last game. Fuck. I'm not fading Utah at home either. That's probably Queens' toughest game they've ever played in program history.
Probably
traveling all the way out there to Utah, to be honest with you, bro. Jeez. We got follows coming in right now. Rim Sharp, Real Tyler. We got Aaron, White Boy. We got Poindexter D15 coming in. Hella boys coming in. Dropping some follows in here on Twitch. We appreciate you guys. Stick around. Follow us on YouTube as well. Drop a subby. 2 words. Drop a subby on the YouTube. Okay. Yeah, Khan has been nuts for Duke as well. Can that continue? It might.
If he
It might.
If he doesn't get his points today, I think Twitter's bankrupt.
Yep. Yeah, surely he gets it again. 3 games in a row, right? Yep. All right. Let's move and groove onto some NBA talk here. Jovan, I do want to craft up a TNT 2-piece, if we can, in a perfect world. But before we do, I want to give you the floor here. Any NBA games that you're loving? Any angles or reads you've got in these games tonight before we dive in and talk about some prize pick squares?
I mean, to be honest, not too much. Just why nothing really made the Sharp report today. I do think it's maybe a little weird the Heat are still favorites without Jimmy in Detroit. I think that game's going to get weird. I think it's a Terry Rozier masterclass, but aside from the point, I like that in that game. The Knicks line looks kind of alarmingly short with first game back for Joel Embiid. I was expecting it to be even a much bigger line for the Knicks, and I think people pointed that out too. So maybe a little weird. I do think the Bucks monk, that was my first probably inkling on the looking at the slate for the first time, but fading the Raptors when they're big dogs has kind of been a death wish. Yeah. And then the Jazz are, I guess, the Sharp play at home, which never hits. So Suns were considered.
Okay. Somebody in chat was asking about Joel Embiid squares on prize picks, saying they're kind of low. I mean, if I had to guess, he's probably not playing, full workload, probably not playing full minutes today in this game, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why his squares are a little bit low. He's going to be on a minutes restriction probably, at least minimally. So, yeah, I'm not in a rush to fade Embiid today, but definitely not taking his more thans. That's for sure. All right, why don't we take a peep at these 2 games on TNT tonight and see if we can craft up a TNT 2-piece? How about it? Jovan, we're not asking for the world. We're asking for 2 gents to do their jobs in these 2 primetime TNT games for tonight. Why don't we get in the lab? 2 great games on TNT. We've got the Knicks at the 76ers. Speak of the devil. Talk about those games. Talk about Joel Embiid and co. And then we've got late night Dallas at Golden State. So 2 great games on TNT tonight and no excuses for us. Plenty of options in these 2 games. Why don't we start in the one in Philly? You've got the 2-7 76ers +3. They get Embiid back. Knicks are laying 3 on the road here. They're 4-5. Both these teams have been pretty disappointing so far this season. The total in this game is actually down since Embiid's been announced back in, down from that opener of 215.5 down to 212.5. Interesting. So maybe not the best game for prize pick squares, or maybe we can even take a less than. Any initial thoughts in this game?
Well, initial thoughts. I do not want to take a Sixer, clearly. Unless we're getting to the counter with fading Embiid, which, I mean, honestly, like his lines are super low for maybe a minutes restriction option, but I really don't want to even do because that guy's probably going to try and prove a point first game back, even if he's on a restriction. So keep me away, I would say, from everything Sixers. I assume you agree with that. Then looking at the Knicks, Jalen Brunson is the first taco on the board today, Krabs.
Okay.
So that probably crosses out another option. I would say it leaves us with 2. I think it's Cat or Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, I'm looking at Michael Bridges right now. That's kind of the guy that I was hoping you were going to say.
Yeah. I mean, Miles McBride's an option too, obviously, but I don't think that's a preferred option for this game.
Maybe it's Miles Bridges. Is there something in particular you were looking at to take for him? His points is kind of high. His rebounds doesn't look that weird. His PRA looks high. Doesn't look like he's going to be shooting as many threes as he's been doing in recent games. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you would think with Cat out on the perimeter too at times, Embiid's going to be pulled out of the paint. So it's going to be whoever can drive, which Brunson's obviously a main guy for that, but he's the taco. So I'm not going to get involved there. So maybe it's Bridges more inside the restricted area this game.
What do you guys think about this game, chat? Looks like we got Adam in the chat. He says he loves Scary Terry today. He says he's on PG-13. Thinks Embiid opens up the floor for him.
Scary Terry is a Krabs. Granted, it makes a lot of sense because of the injury, but seeing that chart?
You can take a peep at it. That's your guy on Miami's. Gosh, it could be we might have to just go with Michael Bridges. Why don't we take a peep at that second game as well? I got to use the bathroom real quick, but take a peep at the second game, Dallas Golden State. I think we'll have a better chance finding the square in that game. And then I'll hop in and we can confirm.
Kind of already have one out there a little bit. I mean, it depends on if we're dying on the hill of the narrative. I would love to just take the red out Rob with Clay that just got bumped up to 8.5. Threes attempted. He's jacking today. He's jacking shots, jacking threes. I don't care if he makes them. He can shoot shugs, bagels, triple tour dates if he wants to. He can go 0 for 10. I don't give a shit. Just jack him. Just jack him. That's all we're asking. So, I mean, that would be my preferred method to target something in this game. Why are we not taking Cat? I don't know. Give me a Cat sell job then. Clay turning into pork. That's exactly what we need. We need Clay to turn into pork. Don't care if he makes them. Go to Golden State and put up shots. We got Rav, loving Warriors more and more. I bet. It could be air, though. It could so be air. Clay shooting them out of the game, potentially.
I am more than down to ride with your Klay Thompson square and keep it simple in that last game. Easy, effective. You gave a hell of a sell job. It's a red out chart. It's getting bumped up. I feel like we keep it simple. And maybe we focus on this first game. Chat, who do you guys like in the Knicks versus 76ers game? What are we thinking? Paul George threes, I'm hearing. Let me take a peep at Paul George out of respect. I'm not a big Paul George guy. Look at his assist square. He has 17 assists in his last 2 games, and he's up for 4.5 assists.
Good Lord.
Well, he's got his counterpart back, though, Joel Embiid tonight, so that might help. You wouldn't want to fade Paul George assists, would you?
I wouldn't tell you no.
Huh. What do we think, chat? Is that too cute? We got first-time chatter Carter coming in saying Knicks -3 he likes. Okay. We got hella follows coming in right now. Stay calm and dice me up. Sure. Appreciate the follow. Carter, thank you. Slinging aces, sure. Bet Better Sports. Thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, Jovan, maybe we got to trust ourselves in this game. I don't hate the Michael Bridges look. I just feel like for some reason I want to take a less than in here. And I'm not seeing too many points in this first game with that total moving down. But you could convince me on Michael Bridges looking at some of these squares. I'd say we go him or maybe fading Paul George's on his assist. With Joel Embiid coming back. That's a weird square to be that green when he's had 17 assists recently. We could fade Embiid and just sack up and do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to take a less than, I'd probably rather just be straight up on Embiid. I just would really love to not get involved with
I'm worried that Embiid is going to be a dickhead and he's just going to fucking go nuts and try to prove a point like you were saying earlier.
The lines are low because he's going to be on like somewhat of a minutes restriction, even if it's very slight. So like that's why it's low. That's why it's super green, obviously. But when he comes back, even when he's limited, he goes out there and he plays fucking hero ball to go out there and make a point, especially when people have been bitching about him not playing all year. So that's my only concern.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to fade him tonight.
And then his usage, or I don't know, if the restriction is much larger than we all know, lack of it kind of fucks up the squares for everybody else. On the Sixers, at least.
I'm looking, chat. Any thoughts on OG Anunoby? He's been going off.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, my gut's telling me it's fading Paul George assists. After 17 assists in his last 2 games. And then he gets his star player back, and it's still at 4.5. Weird.
I mean, that could be extremely sharp.
Are you trying to get nasty and take Paul George less than assists?
If you're dropping B for it.
I think that's what my gut's telling me here, man. Less than 4.5 assists for the team.
Yeah, Also a good point that Tyrese Maxey is out. So that does certainly not help.
Just weird. Weird that squares up.
It is. It's weird that it's as low as it is.
PG runs the ball with Maxey out. Yeah, why is his assist at 4.5 then? You're telling me that's just a free more then? All right. Well, we can keep that out then if you guys don't love it. That's okay. I'm also seeing that Bridges he's 0 for 7 from 3, they're saying, in his last game.
Mikal Curry.
Yeah. That's crazy. Should we just take his points?
I'd be so down.
More than 14?
Be so down.
Okay. And then Klay Thompson, more than 3 points attempted.
That could be it.
We've got Michael Bridges, more than 14 points. And we've got Klay Thompson, more than 8.5 3-pointers attempted. I get down with that. I get down with that.
Brunson will see Oubre most likely. Mikal will see undersized guards. I like that matchup, especially if the paint's a little more open, because you would assume Cat's going to be bringing out whoever to the perimeter.
I just locked it in.
Let's go.
Two-piece. Gutsy, if you want the link, I can send it to you, my man. And then we can get to the squad ride here in a moment. Let me send you this link. Chat, two-piece, hold the fry. It is up on the screen if you want to tail and get involved. We appreciate all the new follows as well. C-Ban, iMod Streams, Nor53. Appreciate you guys. W's. Michael Bridges. Definitely not how to say his first name, but I'm going to keep pissing off chat. Michael Bridges, more than 14 points. And Klay Thompson, more than 8.5 3-pointers attempted. Love it. Good. All right, chat. The link is being dropped. I got you. I'll put it in the chat myself. I got you, Gutsy. Is it about that time for a squad ride? Should we spend a couple extra minutes on it? No rush, no stress. End on time before surge. I'm in there. Gutsy, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. Yeah. I'm locking in.
Did forget to talk about this. It's the NBA Cup that starts today.
Oh, sure. They got the fucking in-season tournament 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
We got that going on today.
I was trying to get Trent to lock in a future of a winner.
Sure.
I don't know if he's decided on his yet, but we were talking about the Clippers potentially.
Huh. So is it all these games? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
All the games today are involved in this in-season tournament? Okay.
Yeah, they're all in like pool play.
Yep. All right.
Like they're seeding games.
Interesting. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the in-season tournament? I don't like that it's so early into the season here, but do you like it? They spice things up a little bit, give these younger guys some motivation, get some more effort going, and get some more effort in these games, right?
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked last year. You even had LeBron and guys, putting in some effort.
Yeah,
in the regular season.
That'll be fantastic for props too.
I like it. I don't know if I like that it's this early, but it's about the time of the NBA season when people stop giving a shit on the court, so maybe that's why they're doing it.
Right? I like it because we'd probably be waiting another couple weeks to see Embiid on the court if that was the case.
That's a good point. Yeah, chat's saying they like it that it's that early. It helps. I agree. All right.
And they still find a way to play no defense.
Yeah, no defense will be played, as Gutsy's saying, but at least minimally more defense. It might be, minimal, right? But there will be at least a little bit more effort out there on the court tonight. That's good. Need more effort in the NBA. All right. That's why I love the college kids, watching them play so much. Effort and heart. Might not have skill, but they got effort and heart. Okay. And Jovan, speaking of college basketball, are there any CBB plays that you want to put in the squad ride vote for today? I know there weren't a lot of plays that we were in love with. I like St. Joe's a lot. I like Kentucky a lot. You like Baylor a lot. Out of those three, I mean, you've got that TCU over as well that I could be definitely convinced. What play is looking at you funny?
That TCU over is speaking to me.
You're liking that play the most?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put that in there. 140 is what I'm seeing right now. You good with that?
Wow. Yeah.
Good.
I'm shocked to see that moving up.
Yeah, so am I, and that's making me like it. I'm putting it in there, no questions asked. Texas State TCU over 140 chat. God, I like that under on the ice you had too, man.
I was going to say, to be honest, the more that we talked about it, I kind of like that CBJ over even more.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me pull that up real quick. You like that CBJ over we talked through a little bit more now? Late night? Juice is moving up 10 cents. You like it enough to put in here? Like it's one of your favorite plays right now? Okay.
Yeah. Kind of, after we talked about it, I love the under in the Jets game too, but definitely I think they're 1A, 1B. That's CBJ over with this being the last game of their dog shit road trip.
Okay.
It's kind of speaking.
Can we put my favorite college football play / my favorite play of the day in here today? And that's Ball State.
Of course.
+4. Can put that in here. Okay. Now I'll leave it up to you if you want to put in Bowling Green. I know you were, kind of in the middle with that St. Joe's play. I probably don't love it enough to put meat on tape for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
do
make
like
the
the
call
play,
there.
to be on it.
That's
okay.
You're the CBB guy here, Krabs. If you like it enough to put it in there, don't let me stop you.
We got some subbies coming in real quick. Window Liquor. It's been a while, my man. Used to come in here and splooge subbies left and right. We appreciate you. Welcome back, Window Liquor. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, my man. Crazy name. Crazy name. Appreciate the subs. Okay. Krabs, can I get a 3 weeks into the season report on how you feel about the Wizards? I mean, these young guys are good, right? I don't know if the team's not good, but the young guys are better than I thought. Maybe not Sarr, but Bubs. Keyshawn George is going to be an NBA player for the next decade in the league. Maybe not in the Wizards for his full career, but that kid's a stud. He's an NBA player. I like these young guys. I do.
Did you hear Draymond glazing the shit out of the Wizards the other day?
Yeah. Like a week ago. That was awesome. Because they played hard as shit in that game. For the first time ever, Draymond Green was like, holy shit, the Wizards put some fucking effort into that game. And they were throwing some bows. They were playing some defense. He liked the energy out of the young guys. He said pretty much for the first time in his career, he saw some effort from the Wizards. When they played against them, usually you go in there and you absolutely wipe the floor with them. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. We need to trade Kuz, and we need to trade, what's his name? Why am I blanking? We need to trade some of our veteran contracts on this team that we really just don't need guys like Kuzma right now. Let's trade him for picks. Corey Kispert on a very friendly contract. Let's trade him for picks. We don't need these guys right now.
I love Corey Kispert.
So do I. Oh, we got hella sub banks coming in, dude. 10 more subbies coming in from Window Liquor? No way, bro. Been great, brother. Hit 55K 2 weeks ago. Holy shit, dudes.
Wow. Legacies.
Let's go, bro. Appreciate the subbies. You're a goat. Always welcome. Let me know when you're sweating tonight, Window Liquor. All right. Let's lock in. Jovan, I would not mind just putting these 3 plays in there. Texas State, TCU over. Ball State +4. CBJ and Seattle over 6.5. I wouldn't mind going quality over quantity and just running it with those 3 plays. I mean, I like Bowling Green a lot as well. It's right up there, 1A, 1B with Ball State. You want to put that in there too?
Play in there.
Bowling Green -9.5.
Blaine Train with another 5 gifted.
Wow, let's go, Blaine.
Goats, more bangs.
All right, Gootsy, why don't we run up that subby or run up the squad rad poll? We'll get that shit up and moving here. 4 plays, 4 winners. Texas State, TCU over 140. Ball State +4. CBJ, Seattle over 6.5. And Bowling Green -9.5. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Get involved. Don't just sit there. Change your life. Change our lives. Find us a winner. Click the right button. Keep the blinders on. Don't just click the play that you want to watch on TV later. Click the play you heard us talk about that you're like, wow, that shit's hitting. Wow, that shit's nasty as hell. I want to tail it. No one else on earth is taking it. That play is gross. It's turning green. I'm voting for that one. That's how you guys should be thinking looking at this poll, right? Not just taking, I want to bet an ice hockey play. I'm going to take the fucking hockey play in the poll. No. Okay, click the best fucking sell job. Click the play you know is turning green in your heart.
William Gates with some bangs.
Wow. W. Kennedy Gates, you're actually a goat. I was geeking the other day watching you come on Surge Stream, and you were in a full office, reminding me back in my corp days. My man's connected to a Cisco WebEx through his company portal and was fucking on the stream. Probably on a giant monitor in his office. Imagine somebody walks in there and they just see this guy with Trent on the screen. Dude, hilarious, bro.
That's a guy that I know wants it.
He
On
wants
a
it. We know
day-to-day
that.
basis, he wants it. He's in the lab grinding.
Ken, we know you want it, brother. We know you want it. That's never been a question. We appreciate you. Thank you for the subbies. And as always, thank you for going on the surge stream. Put in some effort, some time, and giving some great sell jobs. W. Kennedy Gates, a.k.a. Bill Gates. Chat, you got about 30 seconds left. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. We've got the surge stream starting up here right after this as well, guys. So stick around. Do not go anywhere. And like I said before, you can always go back and rewatch TMA with Mikey Overs and Trent earlier today on YouTube as well. Dilgod coming in with 5 subbies. Let's go, boys. Sure we can. We got a hype train moving and grooving.
Need you in the rec lab. I'm getting back in the rec lab tonight.
Sure. You guys are goated. Looks like you want to take that play on the ice tonight, that over that we talked ourselves into, like it a lot more. The over on the ice, Jovan. Columbus and Seattle over 6.5 late night. Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Full slate of
I'm in.
CBB. We're betting on 2 shit hockey teams. Love it.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Wouldn't have it any other way. Okay. Chat, we appreciate you guys. Good to be back. All right. We're going to be absolutely locked in, dialed in the rest of the week. Okay. If you haven't joined Team Trent already, please, we'll drop the link one more time. Join Team Trent before you forget. How many times do I got to say it? Join the team before you forget. It takes 30 seconds and we're winning the shit. No other team's putting in more effort into finding their squares, their winners, than Team Trent. Okay. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place.